What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. And if you thought the window slammed shut on Friday night, you are correct. But if you thought that was going to bring an end to our transfer updates, you are definitely mistaken, because we've got some more transfer updates for you today. It's talking about Giovanni Lo Celso up first. Sports Digital says that Galatasaray have made an official bid for Tottenham midfielder Giovanni Lo Celso. However, Fabrizio Romano says that Galatasaray have been interested in Gio since July, but no changes on both Tottenham and player side. Lo Celso is expected to stay at Spurs, as Ange Postecoglou wanted to keep him.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Look, we've got no time to kind of get a replacement. Obviously, we failed to get Conor Gallagher in through in the window. So anyone else who could play the number 10 apart from Maddison, we're lacking. Lo Celso is injured at the moment, and maybe that plays into the narrative of why the hell is he here, all that kind of stuff. Like, is he good enough? I know he had a bad performance against Fulham. I want to give him more opportunities. I don't want to just judge him based on those 45 minutes and throw him away. So I think he can still be an important member of this squad, and I think he's still needed. So I don't see any point in accepting Galatasaray bid at this point.
We do get the sense that maybe Giovanni is going to go through a season of frustration, though, with the way James Maddison's playing. It seems as though Gio is only going to get his chance if maybe Maddison gets an injury or something like that. Because we're at the Carabao Cup now, only FA Cup and Premier League left to play. Apart from injury, can you really see Giovanni getting too many starts?
Unless he can somehow take the second 8 spot, I don't see him taking Maddison's spot for sure. I think Maddison's got that spot tied in, and he's one of the captains as well, so you're never going to drop him. But from Lo Celso's point of view as well, I understand him maybe wanting to leave during the window if like Barca or Napoli are in for him, but is he really that desperate to go to somewhere like Galatasaray? Like, I maybe understand a loan deal, but I can't understand Spurs loaning him out. And then if it comes to a permanent, maybe I can see Spurs accepting a big offer, but would he want to go there on a permanent deal? I don't see that happening. So I just don't think there's any sense in this one.
Agreed. But I do imagine, like, if he can't break into the team, like I'm saying, he'll probably look to try and move in January or the summer.
Yeah, to a club he wants to go to.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Let's talk about Davinson Sanchez now, as Rudy Galletti says that Sanchez from Tottenham to Galatasaray is almost a done deal. Just last details of the transfer fee and under discussion. The full agreement is expected soon. And Sports Digital says that Galatasaray have reached an agreement with Davinson Sanchez on personal terms, and the clubs are now negotiating on payment structure for the centre-back. And it'll be absolutely ludicrous if we let him go at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I understand wanting to let him go. I understand him wanting to leave. But at the end of the day, the window is closed for us, so we can't sign a replacement for him. The only real sense it made selling Sanchez is if we got a replacement in, so we have a backup centre-back who can play the high line that Postecoglou wants. We know Sanchez, with his pace, can do it. We know on the ball, he's a liability, so he's not good enough for the system. But at the end of the day, you've got to work what you're given. And Sanchez is our only backup centre-back who can fill in right now. So to let him go after the window's closed and having to rely on potentially Ashley Phillips or Eric Dyer is not a situation we should be left in. I know I don't rate Sanchez, but he's better options than Dyer right now. So I can't see how we can accept this. Even if it is a good offer, like we could get a good offer of like 15 million or whatever it is, and you could argue, yeah, look, we're not going to get this money again. But unless we really believe Phillips or Dorrington or one of these players can actually step in and trust them, then I can't let Sanchez go right now.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And it does look like that Ashley Phillips is already above the pecking order than above Eric Dyer in the pecking order, seeing as he was on the bench yesterday and Eric Dyer yet again was not on the bench. But Davinson Sanchez, if you wanted to sell him, then you needed to bring in a replacement in the window. And now if you do sell him, it's just incompetent, and you're going to leave ourselves way too short.
Also, smacks of incompetence if potentially this bid could have come in and you didn't sign a centre back to the window because you couldn't get outgoings in, and then you receive an offer after the window. It's like, then you might as well just brought one in just in case you received an offer after the window. I mean, it's a ridiculous situation we're in if we end up accepting this offer, in my opinion. Like, ludicrous from the board if that goes through. If we do get good money for Sanchez, part of me is like, okay, well, hopefully in January we can rectify the situation, and you might not get another bid like this in January, but you're just leaving yourself so you're asking for trouble essentially if you sell Sanchez. What if during the international break Van de Ven or Romero picks up an injury? Then we're screwed. Yeah. Like, and there's nothing we can do to control that. Yeah. So
we're already screwed if they get an injury, but if we sell him, we're even more screwed.
Exactly. So,
look, I think it's got to be a non-starter. This, I I have to believe that. Like, if we sell Sanchez, we just can't leave ourselves even more short than we are in the centre-back.
But it's pathetic that we're in a situation when we're begging for Sanchez to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Hugo Lloris, because there was a lot of conversations about him on the last day of the window. Nice came in, Newcastle came in. He batted away all those offers and rejected them, and he's still here at Tottenham Hotspur as the transfer window has shut. We did leave him at home from the Australian tour for him to focus on transfer opportunities, but he is still here, and he's given us some quotes to try and clear up the situation, what has happened. And he says, "I want to clear up the ambiguity surrounding the events of the past hours. Yesterday, an hour before the end of the window, I received a call from an agent who evoked the possibility of joining Nice, playing prospects and the sporting project. The real motors behind a player's decision, much more than the financial conditions, weren't clearly broached. My professional journey has shown that exchange, sharing a collective growth, have always forged my decisions, even more so when it's about coming back to the club that trained me. The supporters and the team deserve better than a split-second decision based on a phone call without expectations or a clear sporting project with 1 hour until the closure of the window at a time where I wasn't expecting it. To be honest, I couldn't sign without this common shared vision, at least with the president and the coach. Nice is and will remain a different club for me. It is my city, my club, my blood. A goalkeeper is in place today in Bulka. He is without a doubt one of the best at the start of the season. He has a promising career ahead of him, joining a club to play, to build, to perform. Yes. Signing without a sporting vision and a direct positive impact on the team, no." So interesting quotes there. Obviously, it just comes back to that he doesn't want to go to a club and be second choice.
Yeah, and I kind of get that. I think it makes sense what he's saying. But at the end of the day, you're in the position that you're in. You're on deadline day. You have no clubs looking at you. You haven't ripped up your contract. So this is your only chance, really, if you want to continue playing in Europe for the next 6 months at least. This is your only chance, really, of going to a club and having that opportunity. And it's a club that you've been at before, where you came through. So I think he should have jumped at the chance just to move. But I get, look, if he's looking at it at a case of I still have a lot to give, and I actually am serious about starting, still being a starting goalkeeper at this stage of my career, and I see myself as a goalkeeper who isn't finished, which a lot of people think he is, then I kind of understand what he's saying. But I think maybe he's not really understanding fully the situation he must fully understand the situation, but he clearly still believes he should be a number one goalkeeper somewhere, and he wants to talk about sporting vision stuff, but he's at the end of his career now. He's not what he once was, and he just has to maybe adjust to that kind of position, and it seems like he's struggling to do that. But now what we're going to do, because he didn't cancel his contract before the window, so I'm guessing he's just happy to just be picking up his wage and not be in the squad, I'm guessing.
Maybe he can go into some sort of like behind the scenes leadership or coaching role if he does stay here. I'm sure he could be a big help to Vicario behind the scenes and the other youth goalkeepers coming through the ranks. But I think something will happen from now to the end. Either, we heard on the deadline day that he even might be considering retirement. And if he is considering retirement...
Doesn't sound like it though, does it?
It doesn't sound like it, but he can't find a club.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter. He can't find a club within Europe. The only leagues that he can go to now are either Saudi or Turkey. And if I was him, I'd be very open to going to Saudi or Turkey, especially if you go to Saudi, like you can have like one last big pay packet before you actually retire. And there are some big players going out to Saudi Arabia now, and he can definitely go to Saudi or Turkey and get a number one slot at one of the teams over there. So I think that's pretty much his only option. It's either that, retirement, or stick around at Spurs and help the youth or something like that.
Yeah, and it's a very strange situation. I think Spurs and him should have come to an agreement where just before the deadline they do cancel his contract, just to give him a bit more freedom as to where he could go. But at the moment, it's a very weird situation where our former club captain, who was left off the tour to find a club, is still here after the window, and he's not even going to be involved in the squad. And it's just a very strange situation. And like, in a way, I'm not saying it's disrespectful to him, but like, it's just very strange, a loyal servant being at the club. And he was last season our captain, and now he's still here yet not in the squad. It's just I just can't see it causing anything but negative energy in the team.
But I think Lloris understands and knows the situation perfectly. I actually think it's more of a negative atmosphere to have maybe Eric Dyer around where he is in the squad. and he's not getting any minutes even on the bench. I think that's going to cause more kind of negative seeping through than actually Hugo Lloris, because I think Hugo knew exactly what the situation is. I think he wanted to move on and he can't find a club right now, and I don't think he expects anything, any minutes or even any bench minutes. I don't think he expects anything. So I think like to have him as like a coach, as a coaching role, I don't see that as too much of a problem. I see it more of a problem with Eric Dyer, because I think he expects more than what he's getting.
But it's sad, even like Whiteman's in the squad ahead of him. Well, I'm not sure if it's Whiteman or it's going to be Austin.
So it'll probably be Austin.
But even him, he's ahead of him in the squad, and even though Lloris is still here, so it's just a bit of a strange situation. Let's hope there can be a resolution one way or another before the Turkey or Saudi window closes.
Yeah, we got about 2 weeks left, just under 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of Loney, Alfie Devine had a very good League One debut, came on for Port Vale in his final 20 minutes, grabbed himself an assist and a goal. Obviously, the goal came from a penalty spot right at the end in the last knockings of the game. The assist did come from a free kick, I believe. And great start to life for Alfie Devine at Port Vale. Yeah,
very happy for him. We're going to keep an eye on Port Vale throughout the season, but what a start for him. And to pick up a penalty in the 99th minute on your debut as a 19-year-old, when you were to win the game as well, very big moment for him and the club. And to take that responsibility on yourself as a substitute as well takes nerves of steel, and that shows maybe the character of the kid. And I'm very excited about what he's going to provide in the future. Hopefully now that probably bags him a start for the next game, and let's hope he keeps going from strength to strength. But what a start for him. Very happy for him.
Absolutely. Let's hope Dane Scarlett can make a similar start, but he was just an unused sub for Ipswich on the weekend. And finally, let's finish off with a confirmed deal, which we didn't bring to you on transfer deadline day, and that is Harvey White has officially left the club now, and he joins Stevenage on a permanent deal. So we'd like to wish Harvey White the best for the future. He's obviously a Tottenham boy through and through. He joined the club at a very young age, and he just couldn't seem to get any sort of breakthrough or anything like that at Tottenham. His loan spells didn't really fill people with too much confidence either at Portsmouth, and I think Derby was another one as well. But we wish him the best of luck at Stevenage, and let's hope he can go on and make a name for himself now. Any
confirmation about any sort of fees or anything like in the deal?
Anything? I imagine it's probably close to a free transfer.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, wish him all the best. We knew probably a couple of years ago probably wasn't going to work out here, unfortunately for him, especially at his age. He has to go somewhere where he's playing football. And look, I wish him all the best, and let's hope he has a great career ahead of him.
Yeah. And even last year, I mean, he came on in the Premier League against Palace, I think it was. He actually had quite a nice cameo in that game, but we just couldn't find any sort of role for him. And now he's gone to Stevenage. I mean, that probably tells you everything you need to know, but we do wish him all the success in the future. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.